Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm continuing on with my gay movie marathon, and tonight I'm living the life of a single man, watching Tom Ford's film debut, A Single Man. It's set in 1963. It's based on a novel, and I was just watching Capote, so I'm still sort of in the 60s. And Capote actually does get a mention in the film. One of the characters is reading Breakfast at Tiffany's. But yes, it's came out in 2009. It got a small cinema release in 2010, mostly just to qualify it for Oscar nominations, and Colin Firth did get an Oscar for Best Actor. It's a very, very quiet, very moody, very artsy sort of film, of course, directed by Tom Ford. It tries a little hard, but it has some depth. It's all there. Basically, this single man that we speak of has lost his partner of 16 years. Of course, it's the 60s, so he's in the closet. He's a teacher. He was from Britain. I guess he moved there with his female friend, because she moved from Britain as well. They once had a brief thing, but that didn't go anywhere. Her marriage failed. She's single. He's single. And he's depressed, he's mourning his lover, and he has decided to end things. So he's going about very, very coldly all the things he has to do, just, writing letters, setting up all the necessary things, just having everything in place. And he just goes about his day, and he keeps having these weird things happen, like this boy from his class starts a conversation with him because in his final class he gave quite a nihilistic lecture about fear driving us and people using fear to control us and so forth. And he flirts with him, and he gets the idea this boy might be trying to, put out some feelers. He's supposed to be having dinner with his friend, played by Julianne Moore. But he's kind of cancelling. He got invited to a party from his neighbours. The wife is charming, the daughter's interesting, the son's hideous, the father's a homophobe, but so I can see why he didn't show up to that party, but he was invited. He bumps into a very hot, I think he's Spanish guy, he speaks Spanish, who's trying to look like James Dean, who moved to, I think they're in California, to try and be an actor, but his accent was causing him problems. He tries to pick him up. He fails, Colin Firth declines. I'm like, why? I mean, he's so intent on ending things. I'm like, the point of ending things is because there's nothing left. There's options. There's things happening. There are people around you. It's not what you think it has to be. So it's a bit frustrating watching him go through his day and having all these things come up. He does try several times, and can't quite get it right. And I'm like, what angle are you supposed to be going for? Are you supposed to be trying to, I'm not going to go into any detail about that because we can't talk about that on YouTube. And eventually he gets frustrated and goes to a bar. There's a local bar, and the boy who asked for his address from one of the secretaries, because the secretary says a student asked for his address and she gave it to him, she probably shouldn't, and he knows it's him. He shows up at this bar. They end up talking. They end up having fun. They end up going to the beach, skinny dipping. He somehow injures himself and gets a cut on his head. I'm like, did he get hit by a piece of wood or something? I didn't quite catch what was happening there. For a minute, I thought he was going to drown and let himself drown or something dramatic. But the boy drags him out. They go back home. They talk again. There's some flirtation, and the whole time they're swimming in that, I'm thinking, how old is this kid? Is this legal? He can't do this. This is wrong, no. And that's probably not what you're supposed to be thinking, but that's what I was thinking. And he does have a moment where he says to himself, when the guy's off getting drinks or something, like, you're an idiot. You can't have this. You can't do this. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to be? And then, he passes out. He wakes up. The boy's gone to sleep. The boy has the gun next to him. And I'm like, is he afraid, or is he keeping it with him so he can't have it? I'm not sure what that was. And he decides to burn the letters and not end certain things. And then life, the cruel joke that it is, gives him a second heart attack because he had one at some earlier date, and he dies there on the floor. I'm like, what a cruel joke this film is. He finally realizes that, it's not all over. There is more to life. There's more than, this relationship ending. Because the guy didn't leave him. The guy actually died in an accident along with one of the dogs, and the other dog disappeared. The film starts with a nightmare of him seeing the car overturned, the body laying in the snow with the blood. He walks over to it, he lays down, he kisses the corpse who has frozen open eyes, and then he wakes up. And that's the nightmare he's been living in that he wants to end. But yeah, it was a cruel joke. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think if you've seen the film. If you haven't, I'd watch it. It's beautiful.